Round 3. Ali's opponent throws a wild right hook. Ali slips it easily, but his foot catches on a tear in the canvas. He stumbles, doesn't fall, but in that split second, he understands. The torn canvas, the loose ropes, the terrified referee. This fight was never meant to be fair. Someone paid to make sure Ali leaves this ring on a stretcher. And now, with 2,000 people watching, Ali has to decide if he's willing to risk everything to prove he's not afraid. The town is called Belleville, population 3,800, East Texas, farmland. Cotton fields stretching to the horizon, one main street, 2 gas stations, a diner that closes at 8 p.m. This is not the kind of place that gets famous visitors, but tonight Muhammad Ali is here. It's July 1968, 3 years since Ali refused induction into the U.S. Army, 3 years since they stripped his heavyweight title, 3 years since his boxing license was revoked in every state in America. Except Texas hasn't revoked it. Not officially. There's a loophole, a technicality, and a promoter named Carl Hayes found it. Hayes is a local businessman, owns a feed store, runs the livestock auction every 3rd Saturday. He's never promoted a boxing match in his life, but he's got connections, and he's got ambition, and most importantly, he's got money. Other people's money, but money nonetheless. Hayes convinced the Belleville Town Council that bringing Muhammad Ali to fight an exhibition match would put their town on the map, would bring in revenue, tourism, publicity. The council agreed, reluctantly. Half of them think Ali is a coward and a traitor. The other half don't care as long as it brings money to Belleville. So here Ali is, standing in the back room of the Belleville High School gymnasium. It smells like teenage sweat and floor wax. The walls are cinder block, painted yellow 30 years ago. The paint is peeling. Ali is wearing his white trunks with red trim. His robe hangs on a hook behind him. His hands are wrapped. His face is calm. Angelo Dundee, Ali's trainer, is pacing. He's been pacing for 20 minutes. "I don't like this," Dundee says. "Not for the first time. This whole thing feels wrong." "It's an exhibition," Ali says. He's sitting on a folding chair, relaxed. 4 rounds, light sparring, easy money. Easy money in a town that hates you. "Every town hates me, Angelo. That's why we're here instead of Madison Square Garden." Dundee stops pacing, looks at Ali. "You sure about this?" Ali smiles, that famous smile, bright, confident. "I'm always sure." But there's something in his eyes. Something that isn't quite as confident as his smile suggests. Ali has fought in hostile territory before, but Texas is different. Texas is the kind of place where people still fly Confederate flags, where civil rights is a dirty word, where a black Muslim who refused to go to Vietnam is about as popular as a rattlesnake in a sleeping bag. There's a knock on the door. 5 minutes, a voice calls. Ali stands, rolls his shoulders, bounces on his toes. His body moves like water, smooth, effortless. Even after 3 years away from professional boxing, he's still the most beautiful fighter alive. Dundee helps him into his robe. "Stay relaxed," Dundee says. "Don't let them get in your head. It's just an exhibition, in and out." "I know the drill." They walk down the hallway. The sound of the crowd grows louder, not cheering, not exactly, more like a low rumble, anticipation mixed with hostility. The gymnasium is packed, maybe 2,000 people. Folding chairs set up around a boxing ring in the center of the floor. The ring looks old, the posts are rusted, the ropes are frayed. Ali notices this immediately. As they walk toward the ring, the crowd's reaction is mixed. Some people clap, a few cheer, but most just stare. Cold, hostile, a few boo. Ali ignores it. He's used to it. This is his life now, fighting in small towns for small purses, proving he's not finished, proving he's still relevant. He climbs through the ropes. The canvas feels wrong under his feet. Too soft in some places, too hard in others. He walks to his corner, tests the ropes with his hands. They're loose, too loose. If someone gets pushed against them, they won't provide much resistance. They might not even hold. Ali looks at Dundee. Dundee has noticed too. His face tightens. "We should check this," Dundee says quietly. "Too late now." The referee climbs into the ring. He's in his 50s, thick around the middle, thinning hair slicked back with too much pomade. His shirt is wrinkled. His bow tie is crooked. His name is printed on his shirt, Ref Thomas. Referee Thomas doesn't look at Ali, won't meet his eyes. His hands are shaking slightly as he checks Ali's gloves. Something's wrong. Ali has been in hundreds of rings. He knows when something's off. And this, all of this, feels off. His opponent climbs into the ring, a white man. Early 30s, 6'2", maybe 210 pounds, thick shoulders, scarred eyebrows, broken nose that healed crooked. His name is Danny Colt, local favorite, former college football player turned amateur boxer. Record 14-3, not great, but not terrible. Colt stares at Ali from across the ring. No respect, no admiration, just cold calculation. The ring announcer, Carl Hayes himself wearing a cheap tuxedo, steps to the center with a microphone. "Ladies and gentlemen," his voice booms through the gymnasium, "welcome to Belleville, Texas, for tonight's special exhibition match." Scattered applause. In the blue corner, weighing 210 pounds, with a record of 14 wins and 3 losses, your hometown hero, Danny the Bull Colt. The crowd erupts, cheering, stomping, whistling. And in the red corner, Hayes pauses, the crowd quiets. Weighing 215 pounds, the former heavyweight champion of the world, Muhammad Ali. Mixed reaction, some applause, more boos. A few people actually stand up and turn their backs. Ali doesn't react. He's heard worse. Hayes leaves the ring. The bell rings. Round 1. Ali and Colt move to the center, touch gloves. The referee steps back. Colt immediately throws a jab, fast. Ali slips it, counters with his own jab. Light, just feeling Colt out. They circle, exchange a few more jabs. Nothing serious. This is an exhibition, 4 rounds, light contact. Just entertainment. But Colt's punches aren't light. Each one has weight behind it. Real weight. Ali blocks most of them, slips the rest. But he can feel the intention. Colt isn't here to spar, he's here to fight. The round continues. Ali stays on his toes, moving, dancing, making Colt miss. The crowd boos every time Ali moves away from an exchange. They want violence. They want to see Ali hurt. The bell rings. End of round 1. Ali returns to his corner, sits on the stool Dundee has set up. "He's not holding back," Ali says quietly. "I know." Dundee squirts water into Ali's mouth. "Stay away from him. Don't engage. Just get through this." Round 2. Colt comes out aggressive, pressing forward, throwing combinations. Ali moves, circles, counters when he can. But the ring is small, and those loose ropes make it hard to use the corners. Halfway through the round, Ali backs into the ropes to avoid a right hand. The ropes give way more than they should. Ali nearly falls through them, catches himself, but for a second he's off balance, vulnerable. Colt sees it, throws a left hook, catches Ali on the side of the head. It's a clean shot. Hard. Ali's vision blurs for a second. He clinches, holds on, clears his head. The referee separates them. "Break!" Ali backs away, shakes his head, refocuses. The rest of the round is cautious. Ali stays in the center, doesn't use the ropes, doesn't trust them. Bell, end of round 2. Ali sits in his corner. Dundee leans in close. "Something's wrong with this ring," Dundee says. "The ropes are loose. The canvas is uneven. This isn't safe." "I know. We should stop this. And give them what they want. Give them a story about how Muhammad Ali quit in the middle of an exhibition in Texas." Dundee says nothing. He knows Ali is right. Stopping now would be worse than taking a beating. Round 3. This is when Ali sees it. Colt throws a wild right hook. Telegraphs it from a mile away. Ali slips left easily. His feet move without thought. Muscle memory. 3 years away from the ring hasn't taken that from him. But as he shifts his weight, his right foot catches on something. He looks down. There's a tear in the canvas. Not small. Not a natural wear spot. A deliberate cut. 6 inches long. Running parallel to the center line. Ali's foot caught on the edge. He stumbles, doesn't fall, but his balance is compromised for half a second. In that half-second, everything clicks. The loose ropes, the uneven canvas, the terrified referee, the aggressive opponent who's not holding back, even though this is supposed to be an exhibition. This isn't an accident. This isn't neglect. This is a setup. Someone wants him hurt. Badly. Ali's mind races even as his body continues to move. He slips another punch from Colt, circles away. Buys himself time to think. Who would do this? The promoter? Carl Hayes? Does he hate Ali enough to risk a lawsuit? Or is it someone else? Someone who paid Hayes? Someone with enough money and enough hate to arrange this whole thing? And why? To prove Ali is washed up? To humiliate him? To actually injure him? Ali glances at the crowd, 2,000 faces, most of them hostile, most of them hoping to see him fail. Do they know? Do they all know this is a setup? Or just some of them? Colt presses forward, throws a combination, jab, cross, hook. Ali blocks the first two. The hook catches him on the shoulder. Not clean, but hard enough. Ali's foot catches on the canvas tear again. This time he does stumble, visibly. The crowd sees it. Some of them cheer. Colt sees it too, immediately throws a right hand, aimed at Ali's head. Full power. Ali ducks. The punch sails over him. Colt's momentum carries him forward. Off balance. Ali could counter, could throw an uppercut right now and drop Colt. Clean. Easy. But he doesn't, because he's still processing, still trying to understand what's happening. The referee steps between them. Break. They separate, circle each other. Ali's breathing is controlled, but his mind is spinning. If this is a setup, then every time he uses those ropes, he's vulnerable. Every time he moves near that tear in the canvas, he's at risk. Colt knows where the tear is. Has to know, which means Colt is in on it. The referee knows too. That's why his hands were shaking. That's why he won't meet Ali's eyes. He's been told to let it happen. To not stop the fight no matter what. Ali looks at the crowd again, scans the faces, looking for Carl Hayes, finds him, third row, sitting next to three men in expensive suits. Out-of-towners. They're not watching the fight. They're watching Ali, studying him, waiting. They paid for this. Ali knows it with certainty. They paid Hayes, paid Colt, paid the referee. Set up this whole thing just to watch Muhammad Ali get hurt in a rinky-dink gymnasium in East Texas. The bell rings. End of round 3. Ali walks to his corner. His face is calm. But Dundee sees something in his eyes. You know, Dundee says, it's not a question. Yeah, we're leaving. Right now, we're walking out. No. Ali dash dash. No. Ali's voice is quiet, firm. That's what they want. They want me to quit. Want me to walk out so they can tell everyone that Muhammad Ali is afraid, that he's finished, that he can't handle a simple exhibition against a nobody in Texas. Better that than getting hurt. Ali looks at Dundee, really looks at him. I've been hurt before. I'll be hurt again. But I won't quit. Not here, not like this. Then what do you do? Ali glances at the three men in suits. At Hayes, at Colt, who's standing in his corner, confident, thinking he's already won. I finish the fight, Ali says, but I don't give them what they want. The bell rings. Round 4, final round. Ali stands, moves to the center of the ring. Colt comes out aggressive again. Throwing power shots, trying to land something big, something that will put Ali down. Give the people who paid for this their money's worth. But Ali doesn't engage. He doesn't trade. He doesn't use the ropes. He doesn't go near the canvas tear. Instead, he moves. Not flashy, not the Ali shuffle, not the dancing that made him famous. Just simple, efficient movement. Lateral steps, small circles, keeping Colt at range. And he talks. You getting paid good for this? Ali says, loud enough for the ref to hear. How much they give you? Colt doesn't answer. Throws a hook. Ali leans back. It misses. I bet it's good money, Ali continues. Has to be. To set up a whole ring just to hurt me. That takes planning. Takes cash. Colt's face tightens. He throws another combination. Ali blocks. Steps away. What's the plan? Ali asks. I fall through those ropes, trip on that tear and you hit me while I'm down, or you just keep swinging until something lands. The referee tries to interrupt. Keep fighting. Ali ignores him, keeps talking. It's smart. I'll give you that. Small town, no real press, no cameras, just word of mouth. Muhammad Ali got beat up in Texas. That's the story you're selling, right? Colt lunges forward, angry now, throws a wild right. Ali slips it easily. Counters with a jab. Not hard, just enough to snap Colt's head back. Problem is, Ali says, I'm not giving you that story. Ali shifts his strategy, stops moving away, starts moving forward. Not into Colt's power, into his space, smothering his punches before they can fully extend. Working on the inside where Colt's size advantage means nothing. It's not beautiful boxing, it's not the kind of fighting that makes highlight reels. But it's effective. And it's safe, because on the inside, Ali can control where they move. Can keep Colt away from the ropes, away from the tear in the canvas, away from the traps. Colt doesn't know how to fight like this. He's a brawler, needs space to throw. Ali doesn't give it to him. The round continues. Ali clinches when he needs to, moves when he can. Never gives Colt a clean shot. Never takes a risk. The crowd is confused. They came for violence, for drama. Instead, they're watching a technical chess match. Boring, frustrating. But Ali doesn't care. This isn't about entertaining them. This is about survival. About proving a point. With 30 seconds left in the round, Ali pushes Colt back, creates space, and then, for the first time in the fight, he opens up. 3 jabs, fast, sharp, all land clean. Snap Colt's head back each time, then a straight right. Not full power, but enough. Catches Colt on the chin. Colt's knees buckle. He doesn't go down. But he's hurt. Visibly hurt. The crowd gasps. Ali could finish it. Could throw a combination right now and drop Colt. End this humiliating farce with a knockout. But he doesn't. Instead, he steps back, drops his hands, looks at Colt, and says loud enough for everyone in the front rows to hear, I could hurt you, but I won't, because this isn't a fight, and you're not my enemy. You're just a man who took money to do something you shouldn't have done. The bell rings. End of round 4. End of the fight. The referee raises both fighters' hands. Exhibition fights don't have winners, just participants. But everyone in that gymnasium knows what they just witnessed. They came to see Muhammad Ali broken. Instead, they saw him walk through a trap and come out untouched. Ali doesn't wait for the crowd's reaction, doesn't pose, doesn't celebrate, just leaves the ring. Walks back to the locker room with Dundee. Once inside, Dundee closes the door, leans against it. That was the stupidest, bravest thing I've ever seen, Dundee says. Ali sits down. His hands are shaking now, the adrenaline wearing off. They wanted me hurt. I couldn't give them that. You could have been killed if you'd fallen through those ropes, if you'd tripped on that canvas tear at the wrong moment. I know. Then why'd you stay? Ali looks at Dundee. His face is serious. No smile, no bravado, just honesty. Because I've spent 3 years proving I'm not a coward, 3 years fighting to get back what they took from me. If I walked out of that ring tonight, all that would be for nothing. Everyone would say, see, he is afraid. He did quit. We were right about him. So you risked your life to prove a point. I risked my life to stay who I am. Dundee shakes his head. You're insane. Probably. There's a knock on the door. Dundee opens it. Carl Hayes stands there, the promoter. He looks nervous, sweaty. Ali, I just want to... Get out, Dundee says. I just want to apologize. I didn't know... You didn't know? Ali stands, walks toward Hayes. His voice is quiet. Dangerous. You didn't know the ring you set up had torn canvas. You didn't know the ropes were loose. You didn't know your fighter was going to try to hurt me. Hayes backs up. I swear, I didn't... You're lying. Ali steps closer. Hayes backs into the hallway. You took money. From someone who wanted to see me hurt. Maybe you didn't know how bad it would be. Maybe you told yourself it was just going to be rough. But you knew, and you let it happen. Hayes is sweating heavily now. I'm sorry. I didn't think... You're right. You didn't think. You didn't think about what happens if I get seriously injured. About the lawsuits, the investigations, the publicity. You just thought about the money. Ali is inches from Hayes' face now. Get out of this building, Ali says, and if I ever hear that you've promoted another fight, I'll make sure everyone knows what you did tonight. Every boxing commission, every athletic board, everyone. Hayes nods rapidly, backs away, disappears down the hallway. Dundee closes the door again. You think he'll keep quiet? I don't care, Ali says. Let him talk. Let everyone talk. I know what happened. That's enough. The story of that night in Belleville doesn't spread. Not right away. Carl Hayes does keep quiet. So does Danny Colt. So does referee Thomas. They all have too much to lose. But rumors circulate in boxing circles. Stories about a fight in Texas that wasn't quite right. About a setup that didn't work. About Muhammad Ali walking through a trap and coming out clean. Years later, after Ali retires, a journalist tracks down Danny Colt, asks him about the Belleville fight. Colt, older now, no longer fighting, admits the truth. They paid me $5,000, Colt says, told me to hurt him, said the ring would give me opportunities, said Ali was washed up anyway, 3 years out of boxing, easy target. What happened? The journalist asks. He figured it out, Colt says. Middle of round 3. I saw it in his eyes. He knew. And instead of walking out, instead of quitting, he just adjusted. Changed his whole style. Boxed me on the inside where nothing I did mattered. Made me look like an amateur. Do you regret it? Colt is quiet for a long moment. Every day. I was supposed to be his executioner. Instead, he made me look like a fool. And he did it without even trying to hurt me. He could have knocked me out in that 4th round. Everyone knows it, I know it. But he didn't, just proved his point and walked away. What was his point? That you can't break Muhammad Ali, no matter what you do, no matter what you take from him, no matter how you try to hurt him, he just won't break. Muhammad Ali fought in many hostile places in his career, but Belleville, Texas remains one of the most dangerous. Not because of the crowd, not because of the opponent, but because someone decided that his exile, his refusal to fight in Vietnam, his conversion to Islam, all of it meant he deserved to be hurt. And when they set their trap, when they tore the canvas and loosened the ropes and paid a fighter to break him, Ali did the one thing they didn't expect. He survived, with grace, with control, without revenge. That's what people don't understand about courage. It's not about winning. It's not about dominating. Sometimes courage is just refusing to give your enemies what they want, even when they've stacked everything against you. Muhammad Ali walked into that gym in Belleville as a target. He walked out as exactly what he'd always been, the greatest. Not because he won a fight, but because he refused to be broken.